Greetings, YouTube! Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 86, and in this episode we're going to be continuing on tackling these battle CDs as we have been in the last couple of episodes. And this time we're going to be starting off with battle CD number 42, which pretty much has to do with the Legendary Birds and the Legendary Dogs of both Kanto and Johto, respectively. And in this particular side, the A side, it's going to give us the Legendary Dogs, Entei, Suicune, and Raikou, against the opponent's side with Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. To begin the battle, our opponent's going to start off with Articuno, and we're going to start off with Suicune. This is going to be a single battle, so you're not going to have a bunch of these guys, these legendary guys, on the field at the same time, which is really good news for us. The first thing you want to do is, most likely, you're going to want to take out Suicune, because you want Suicune in case Moltres ends up being the last Pokemon that you have to fight. None of the other ones will have advantages over it, and the chances are that Raikou will not survive that long. So, on the first turn, Articuno is going to use Agility, so take advantage of that to switch out. That means you won't take any damage. Articuno is then going to use the Mind Reader and Sheer Cold strategy. So, what we're going to do is get a Fire Blast off here, but because of Articuno's very high special defense, that's not going to be able to kill us. But we do get a lot of damage off on it. Now you're going to want to switch because Articuno will follow up that Mind Reader with a Sheer Cold and knock you out in one hit, regardless of which of these dogs it is. Doesn't matter. Even if it's Entei and Ice-type moves are not very effective on it, it won't matter. It will knock it out in one hit. So we're going to switch out to Raikou here, and it decides to go for a Rest instead of using Sheer Cold, which means we could have ended up leaving Entei out and it would have been okay, but it just wasn't worth the risk, especially because Articuno definitely would have been faster. Articuno also comes with a Chesto Berry, so because of the sleep condition that comes with rest after healing up, it wakes up immediately. Went for a Sheer Cold in the first turn, but it missed, and so did our attack. And this time it's going to try a Mind Reader. However, Thunder is going to hit, finally, and it gets it down. It does even more damage than Entei's Fire Blast did. It gets it down to 11 HP. So we're going to switch out again after the Mind Reader because it's not worth, especially with Raikou out in the field. We need that electricity because it's super effective on Articuno, and it's super effective on Moltres, and it also does neutral damage to Zapdos, so we need that on the field. Articuno will again go for a Mind Reader here on Entei, and we're going to stomp it, and considering that it only has 11 HP left, it's not able to stand up to that whatsoever. So, finally, after all that switching back and forth, it seemed like a chess match of sorts, we were able to come out on top. Zapdos is next, so it's an electric-type Pokemon. It also has the part flying type like all the birds do, and it likes to use Drill Peck here, obviously, as its flying-type move. And I believe it also has Thunderbolt. Fire Blast is your best option with Entei, but unfortunately that missed, which means we're going to get hit with another Thunderbolt, and that's going to put some pressure on us because if Entei goes down, you do not want to have to bring out Suicune with Zapdos on the field because Suicune obviously is not going to be as fast as Zapdos, and its Thunderbolt is going to kill it very quickly. Thankfully, with the Fire Blast there, though, we were able to get kind of sort of lucky and get a burn condition on Zapdos, so it's going to decrease the power of its Drill Peck move, which is going to force it to rely mainly on Thunderbolt, as well as decrease some of its HP every turn. So we don't really have much of an option here. We're going to have to send out Raikou, seeing as how Zapdos can't do a whole lot of damage to Raikou in its current state. Its best bet would be, I guess it doesn't matter because Drill Peck is not very effective to begin with. So it's just going to go for a Thunderball here, and it's going to be not very effective. As long as it doesn't paralyze us, we're okay. Nope, no paralysis, and that burn is really hurting Zapdos. It's taken it from just above half health to 59 HP now. And we get a Bite Off, which gets it down to 14 HP, which is just enough for the burn condition to knock it out. So we got very lucky there. Otherwise, if you don't have a burn condition on it, I suggest using Thunder as much as possible. The problem becomes that they have the pressure ability, which increases how much PP is used. So you use 2 PP for Thunder every time, which means you can only use it 5 times instead of the 10. We get a Thunder off there, and it takes away most of Moltres' health. And Overheat is the move that it decides to use, which will harshly decrease its special attack stat, but at the same time it has 140 base power, so Raikou just really doesn't stand a chance against that at all. Next, we have Suicune. That's pretty much our last option. So we have Suicune versus Moltres here, and we have the advantage, clearly. Moltres is going to open with an agility to try to get a speed advantage on us, and you want to just hope, fingers crossed, that Hydro Pump hits, which it does right here, and that takes out Moltres, and that's going to be it for this battle and side A. Unfortunately for us, I think that the side with the dogs on our team is the easier side, whereas the side with the birds on our team is the harder side, more specifically because Raikou is just so dangerous. Okay, so we completed Battle CD number 42, and we receive a full restore for our efforts, which is something that we can actually use. We also unlock the B side, or the reverse side, of Battle CD 42, which is Battle CD 43. So we're going to not waste any time, and we're going to dive right into that and try to get that out of the way now, because it is fairly difficult. And hopefully we can get kind of sort of lucky, or just have things fall our way, and we'll be able to defeat it on our first try. Do not be surprised if during a lot of these legendary battles in the Battle CD section that you do not defeat it on the first try. Even if you do everything the way you're supposed to do and what the strategy is intended to be for that particular battle, do not be discouraged if you lose a couple of times, because that just happens sometimes. You get critical hits, you get status conditions, things that are not within your control. You can't predict everything. Alright, so of course they're going to give the computer the advantage here and have them start with Raikou. I guess that can also be an advantage for us, because we don't have to worry about when Raikou's going to come out, so we can just get rid of it early, hopefully. So there's a couple of things we can do here. We can try to reduce the amount of times that Raikou can use Thunder. Well, not reduce the amount of times, but just try to bait it into using it when it won't hit us. So it will get rid of that whole advantage that it has. So now that we got a substitute up on the first turn and it misses, that's one turn. So remember that with our pressure ability, Thunder will only be able to be used 5 times instead of the usual 10. So we got an agility off, which is great. Unfortunately, Raikou did get a double team off, so I don't know if Ice Beam is going to hit every turn, but we'll see. It hit that time, took away about half of Raikou's health, and this time Raikou is going to get a Thunder off, but thankfully we have the substitute up. So that takes the damage for us, and our substitute obviously will fade after getting that massive damage. I'm going to take a chance here and go for an Ice Beam, and it does hit, which is exactly what we needed to happen. And thankfully, Double Team did not come back to bite us in the butt. Raikou goes down, and that's your biggest threat right there. So once you get Raikou out of the way, you're pretty much home free. Entei can be kind of dangerous when it comes to using Articuno. We don't have anything that can damage it because we just have Ice Beam as an attack. So we're going to probably want to switch out here, I'm guessing. Articuno is really only good for taking out Raikou, because its Ice-type attacks are not very effective on Entei or Suicune. Okay, so we're going to switch Articuno out here and use it as a last resort. We'll bring out Moltres, the Fire-type, so fire on fire here. And, oh, Entei goes for a Roar, so I guess we're not going to use Moltres. Maybe we'll get lucky and it'll bring out Zapdos. Zapdos? Yep, brings out Zapdos. So that's just all fine and dandy. We can go for... Well, we have a couple of options here. Zapdos is probably your best team player here, as it has Thunderbolt, Drill Peck, and it also has Thunder Wave and Light Screen. So Light Screen will help protect against Fire Blast and Hydro Pump, as well as Thunder, if you need it to. And then you also have Thunder Wave, which will paralyze your opponent. So if you really are in a bind, and if Zapdos is your last option other than Articuno, when it comes to fighting Entei or Suicune, you can always paralyze them on your way out to give Articuno a better chance at trying to defeat them. Okay, so obviously we're going to have an advantage here. I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave on the first turn. One thing you do need to watch out for is Suicune's Mirror Coat. If you hit it with a Thunderbolt and it doesn't knock it out, Mirror Coat is pretty much going to kill you because it will inflict double of whatever you inflict on it. So, yeah, it's almost better to go for a Drill Peck than it is to try to weaken it via Thunderbolt. Once you get it down far enough, you will be able to get rid of it with the Thunderbolt, but as you can see here, Suicune hit me with a Hydro Pump. Oh, I survived. Okay, I thought I was going to die there, but that was not the case. We're going to try a Thunderbolt since we're going to die anyway, and luckily we get a critical hit. So that means Suicune's going to go down. I don't think it was going to die in one hit from that Thunderbolt had it not been a critical hit, but if that's the case, you can get it weakened most of the way and then finish it off with a bunch of Ice Beams from Articuno, despite them not being very effective. Anyway, that's going to do it for Battle CD number 43, and that's also going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, I think we're going to do one more video with Battle CDs, and then we'll do some training in Mount Battle really fast, and then head over to Cinedark Isle. Stay tuned for episode number 87. Game on.